Okay, if you watched my previous video where my phone went dead and then the battery on the truck was dead and I had to jump start it. Then the battery on the phone went dead and I had to plug it in. Then I went to the doctor. I don't know what time it is now, but I had the truck on the trickle charger while I was going to the doctor. And the truck cranked just fine when I got back home. So I'm going to haul this garbage up to the dumpster in the shop. Then work on June bug for a little while longer, separating the marker lights from the tail lights. I got to thinking I might not separate the marker lights and tail lights. I might put those 12-volt bulbs back in the tail lights and then just hook all the tail light wiring straight up to the 12-volt battery on June bug. Then all that will be coming out of the Studebaker. No, I can't do that, because then the wires coming from the Studebaker will still be 6 volt, and I got to have 12 volts to run the stop and turn lights. So I guess I will continue on with my operation of separating the wiring of the marker lights from the taillight wiring. This 82 GMC was given to me about 15 or 20 years ago. It was a factory diesel truck. It had a rod broken in it or something like that. You could crank it up, but you could hear that little man inside the motor with a hammer about a half a mile away. I pulled that diesel motor out and installed a 500 cubic inch Cadillac motor. Kept that in there a while. It went bad on me. I had a 425 Cadillac motor, I put in it then. Kept that a while, wore it out. I forget what motor I had in it next. I think it was another 500. Yeah, 500 Cadillac motor. Come out of a 1970 Cadillac Eldorado. Now that was a house of an engine. But it developed a rod knock. And I figured it was time to move on into the 20th century and go LS. A friend of mine gave me this 4.8 4L8060 out of a Chevrolet Express van that had been rolled over on its side. Only had 76,000 miles on it. took me about 6 months to do the swap because there's a lot of wires on an LS injected engine, computerized. I did all my own wiring. As cheap as I am, I wouldn't buy a kit. But that's been about 2 years ago. Knock on wood, I haven't had the first wiring problem since I put it in. Had some power steering issues, like we had to braze a nipple into the power steering reservoir because this truck has hydro brakes, power brakes on it, not vacuum. And it developed a crack in the reservoir canister. So I got that fixed. I think it's leaking again though. But it's a good truck. Good for hauling garbage and gravel and pine shavings, mulch, sand. The tilt bed on it really comes in handy when you're doing that. It will pick up a full load of dirt with the long bed, but it will not pick up a full load of wet dirt. I just need to adjust my bypass valve, I think. I'm going to do that just as soon as I get around to it. I need to stop by the bank, put some money in there, but I think I'm going to wait until I come home this evening. I'm going to hurry up, get this garbage unloaded, get to working on Junebug again. I'm going to a car show Saturday. I'm going to drive midnight towing Junebug to the car show, and I want all the lights working on it. Of course, the most important lights is the stop and turn. They're all working, and tail lights working, but I want the marker lights to work too. It's got a marker light on both front lower corners, a marker light on the front of each fender, a marker light on the back of each fender, a marker light on the lower rear corners. And all that's not going to be connected to the tail lights. Going to have its own unique wire going to a battery on the teardrop. have radiation treatment tomorrow morning at 7:15. There's a little spot in my brain that they're going to zap. They say 90% of the time they get it in one treatment. Let's hope so. See, that's what I tell you about these stoplights. They got them all times to catch me. But the little spot in my brain they're going to zap, like I said, 90% chance that they're going to get it all in one treatment. I hope so. After that treatment tomorrow, all those guys are going to load up in 2 or 3 cars and go to the Varsity restaurant in Atlanta. We go up there about once a month for nostalgias. We all have memories of the Varsity when we were in our early 20s and teens. One of our guys has been eating there since before he was born. His mama and daddy ate there with him in the uterus. So we have a lot of fond memories about the Varsity. It used to be a drive-in restaurant, but they only have walk-in business now. Look up Varsity in Atlanta. It's quite an interesting history. While we sit at the traffic light, I will show you guys my instrument panel. This is an old cell phone that's hooked up via Bluetooth to my OBD, which is connected to my computer on the engine. It shows mile per hour, RPM, battery voltage, engine temperature, total fuel economy, and what gear I got it in, or what gear the transmission has it in. But sometimes that transmission indicator on the smartphone here doesn't work. It works if I turn it off and turn it back on, it'll show me the correct gear. Like if the indicator is showing first gear and the transmission's in 4th gear, if I turn it off and turn it back on, it will show 4th gear. This is my first video driving the GMC. I don't know if I'm going to add this video onto my Jerry's Studebaker channel, YouTube channel, or not. I might make a Jerry's GMC channel. We'll see. You church-going guys, you can pray for me, see if we can stop this cancer. I don't expect it to cure it. I'm going under a lot of treatments. I'm not doing chemo. I don't think I'm going to do chemo regardless. These people right here don't know where they're going. They took the wrong drive there. As I was saying, you church guys, if you will, say some prayers for me. If you're not church going, just have good thoughts for me. That works too. Like I said, I don't think we can cure the cancer. I just want to stop it, keep it from spreading. It come out of my prostate into my bones, and then that one spot in my brain. The brain's only going to take one treatment to zap it, I think. But I got a lot of cancer in my left pelvic. It's going to take 10 treatments to zap it. That's 10 days. Okay, here we are at the shop. Let me load this garbage and get to work on Junebug. That's all, folks.